Welcome to the May 2002 edition of Retro Gaming Radio. I'm Shane R. Monroe, your host. Welcome to the program. With me today in the studio is Bryan Smith, our esteemed producer and good friend of the show. Also, we'll have in the studio today Brian King, the side op of Arcade Restoration and the author of the great utility Cart Commander, which is a great product. You're going to have a lot of fun with that. We're going to have a nice little 16-bit review for you on the much-touted game Chrono Trigger on the Super Nintendo. This is going to be a two-part review. We'll have the first part this month. The next month we'll have the second part. Of course, we're going to have lots of other juicy information for you about CGE. Plus, we're also going to tell you a little secret alliance we've joined into with a hardware manufacturer that I'm sure you know the name well. All that and more today on Retro Gaming Radio.
Kimberly, come in. Are you okay?
Welcome to Retro Gaming Radio.
I'm Shane R. Monroe, your host.
Comprehensive online. Welcome to Retro Gaming Radio. Welcome to Retro Gaming Radio. Comprehensive online. Welcome to Retro.
I'm Shane R. Monroe, your host. Welcome to the program.
This is a very special edition of Retro Gaming Radio. It was basically recorded live and edited for content by the brilliant producer Bryan Smith. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. This month's rant's going to be an edited, freestyle edition between myself and producer Bryan Smith. We got together and just decided to sit here and bitch about things, and the result of that's going to be this month's rant. So, enjoy the rant.
You know, MAME has kind of evolved, not necessarily we feel for the best, and you know, I will tell you there are some very cool people on the MAME team. Now, we're not going to name any sort of names here. There's some very cool people on the MAME team that are still there for what they originally started to be there for. Then they've got some guys that are way too serious about themselves and about MAME. And just to give you an idea, and you can talk to many old school MAME developers. I'm sure Ron Corcoran would throw a couple of notes in here too if he had a moment and he was here. Many times the MAME team thinks that they know about a game explicitly when you know about the game and you submit them information that is obviously 100% reliable, and they don't accept that information because they obviously have to know better than you do. Case in point is Top Gunner, which is a clone of Jackal in the U.S. release. I'm sure I've bitched about this on the show before, but since we're talking about the subject, I'll kind of go over it again. I have a Top Gunner cab, folks, and I played a lot of Top Gunner when I was younger. And basically, originally, before they had the Prom edition to the ROMs, both Jeep 1 and Jeep 2 both had a 1 on it. Now, I'm not sure how you're supposed to play a two-player game when both graphics for both players are identical. Both had 1s on them. Now, that didn't make a lot of sense. That should make a lot of sense to someone who doesn't know what's going on. How come both Jeeps have a 1 on them? Well, I knew that it had a 2 on it, and I sent the MAME team a screenshot that said, look, Jeep 2 has a 2 on it, not a 1. This is really hard for two players to play this game. And I kept getting notes back. Are you sure? Are you sure it's that way? I don't remember it being that way. I think it's right the way it is. And when I would send them screenshots and actual shots of the cab, they still questioned it and didn't fix it until they happened to be adding proms to everything, and the proms magically fixed it. I also sent in dip switch settings scanned from the Top Gunner service manual. As far as I know, those are still not in MAME yet, because obviously they know better than I do that the dip switches should remain unknown instead of having labels on them like I provided them. And there are a lot of other old MAME developers who have been wiped from the slate, people who have contributed to things such as the Williams drivers that have been removed from the credits as not being contributors when they were major contributors. Anything you would like to add to that, Brian?
Basically, this is a public service announcement to everybody who worships MAME dev. It ain't what you think it is, and it kind of kills your. It's like believing in Santa Claus and finding out Santa Claus is not real. Yeah, your favorite game is probably in there, and you're probably forever grateful. And I am very grateful to the MAME team for emulating about 99% of everything I've ever played. But you know what? Read the mission statement and take the mission statement to heart and then re-evaluate MAME. MAME's mission statement is to preserve classic games, not Marvel vs. Capcom. Okay? Games that are still in circulation, and I know you people who out there live in, I don't know what the name of this town is, Illinois, where there's like one video game within 50 miles and you're going, I've heard the story over and over again. I can't find this cabinet, so I'm really glad that it's in MAME and I can play it, and they're doing their job in project. Come on. Stop it. Let's be serious. Anything made after 1990 you can find if you go to a major city. I'm amazed at what games I can still play in the freaking arcade, even living in Nevada. Now,
things like Neo Geo stuff.
No, Neo Geo should not.
I can go right now and find an arcade with Neo Geo stuff in it. I can go play Magician Lord on a real machine. To me, that's piracy. I mean, there's just no other way to slice it. MAME is providing modern games to a society that these games are still readily available and in service. To me, that not only does it violate their mission statement, but it also brings into the fact that, there's a difference between casual piracy, which is copying something off of TV, renting a movie that you'll never find again. Don't even make any sense about, don't you even come down on Pirate Movie, dude, because that's like one of those great 80s guilty pleasures, and you go try to rent Pirate Movie, you'll never find it. I had to rent it online, and when it got here, I made a damn copy of it. You know why? Because I'll never find that movie again. They're probably never going to release it on DVD either. I'll be stuck forever with a crappy bootleg VHS. That's casual piracy. When you make a product that I'd say millions and millions of people play and download, that basically give them the ability to circumvent their local arcades, that to me is piracy. I mean, cut and dry. I know you Neo Geo lovers are like SNES lovers. You guys have some weird extra gene in your DNA.
And by the way, whoever emailed us in, this is we don't talk about Neo Geo, here's your spot.
This is your spot. This is your plug.
This is why we do not talk about Neo Geo. Let me ask Shane a question first, because I really don't. I kind of know why Shane stopped his website, Insert Coin, and that's basically the way I met Shane, between Insert Coin and the show, and him coming into coming in on IRC. That's how me and Shane met and became friends. So it really hurt a lot when Insert Coin went away. My understanding was because of Neo Geo being emulated and MAME was your final straw. Is that true?
That was more or less true. That was sort of the straw that broke the camel's back. And I'll tell you, the biggest problem is that it got to the point to where people were no longer grateful for a service you were providing. People were hostile. It wasn't enough that I had 99.9% of MAME ROMs on the site. I would get 100 mails a day asking why was this ROM missing, or why. And then there was even better yet. The one that always comes to mind is somebody threatening to come over here and kick my ass because Super Punch-Out didn't work. And it wasn't because I didn't have a ROM that worked and I didn't have a ROM on the site that worked. It's because MAME didn't support it. And right in the documentation, Super Punch-Out, preliminary support, does not work, was not enough for these people. They threatened to come and kick my ass because I didn't have a working Super Nintendo or a Super Punch-Out ROM. And then when it started getting to the point to where more modern games were being emulated, it got to the point, one, that it wasn't economically feasible to house 40 megabyte ROMs, like Metal Slug or whatever that is. I don't get the draw to that game either.
That's a pretty fun game.
I don't get it. I don't understand why.
If you like to just shoot everything in the scrolling environment, it's like Super Mario Brother with a gun.
Anyway, lots of people like that game. I never figured that one out either. Anyway, so once that started happening, it became clear that Insert Coin was no longer the fun public service that it was. It became a chore. It became tedious. I started getting the letters, and that was pretty much where Insert Coin ended. So.
My beef with the Neo Geo is the 6,000 fighting games. You guys are sitting around wondering, crying and boohoo, going, "Why is SNK out of business?" You can't make the same fighting game 6,000 times and expect to make money. So somebody needs to call up Capcom and Midway and let them know, come up with something original. Which goes into another segment, modern games versus classic games. Why people just don't seem to get the difference between what a modern game is and what a classic game is.
I don't remember. We were talking about all sorts of crap at the supermarket.
We were talking about no, we were talking about at Walmart. You remember? And I was talking about how one programmer, one game,
Right.
and how game companies nowadays sit up there and basically go online. You'll be surprised if I've done this, I've said this before to people in the channel, and I hope to God Electronic Gaming Monthly is listening to this because you guys are freaking thieves. I've sat up there and seen stuff that looks like it has come out of IRC channels, word for word, the slang, the terms, the quotes. You guys sit up there and you don't. I used to read you guys religiously within like the last 2 or 3 years. All of a sudden, it seems like you guys parked yourself either on a post board or an IRC channel hiding under somebody's neck, and you're just lifting things from the channel. This is what's wrong with the gaming industry, because I know if you guys are doing it, Capcom's probably doing it, Midway's probably doing it, Infogrames is probably doing it. They're sitting in the channel going, oh, well, what game would you like to see? Versus actually sitting down and having a brainstorming session and going, what game do you feel like developing? And just not worrying about dollars. Worrying about what's going to sell. Nintendo's very guilty of that. I mean, think about how many original games are coming out for the GameCube this year. Sit down and seriously think about it.
And Super Monkey Ball doesn't count because it's already out.
And it's Sega. I'm talking about from Nintendo. Not from Sega, not from Capcom, not from Konami. Nintendo. When was the last time Nintendo wrote an original game? And you guys, and here's the problem. You guys sit there, you Generation Gimme guys sit there, and you know what? The companies are listening to you. But guess what you guys are saying? I want to see Mario on the GameCube. I want to see Luigi on the GameCube. I want another Pokemon. I want another Street Fighter. I want another Tekken for the PlayStation 2. They listen to you. That's what you get. And it's the same crap over and over and over again.
Now I know what you're thinking. You're saying, no, wait a minute. The game companies are making money, so they're getting what they want. We're telling them what we want, which is more crappy 3D fighters and more crappy Mario games. So we're getting what we want. Where's the problem with the equation? You guys, but see, these are the same of you guys that write to me and say, modern games are cool. It's not just classic games. It's not just the classic games that are cool, but the modern games are cool too. We're trying to explain to you why they're not. You're asking for the same things. They're giving you the same things. I mean, if you go back to the life cycle of the heyday of a classic console or a classic video game computer like the C64 Amiga, there were not blatant knockoff clones being released every 3 months on the 3 months of the exact same game with different graphics. It wasn't like that. Yes, there were tons of Jet Set Willy knockoffs on the 64. The same freaky Euro knives chasing you and boots chasing you and all that other crap. Yeah, there were tons of those. But it wasn't like that was the market share. You did not get away with releasing the same thing over and over again on the C64. Not if you wanted to make a lot of money. Electronic Arts, when they didn't suck, when they were still cool, they were making cash. Look at some of the things they released. I mean, they released some, like Bard's Tale. They released Adventure Construction Set, Racing Destruction Set, which even though they kind of sound the same, they weren't. They released Realms of Impossibility. Every one of their games that Electronic Arts released back then was its own separate entity. I swear to God, they didn't even use any of the same code. Now Electronic Arts is releasing the same football game every single year over and over again, exactly the same. They were called team discs when I was little. When you would actually get like a football game and you wanted an updated roster for the next year, they released a data disc and charged like a third the price for it.
Like $10.
Like $10. $10 for your game. Not too many people get that. But
Download from their site.
Download from their site. Anyway, you'd get a team roster disc, and that was it. You didn't get the whole frickin' game and have to pay another $50 for it. That's what's going on. That's the difference. Yes, there were similar games. Yes, there were 100 Pac-Man knockoffs. Yes, they was still there. Okay, but when you look at, you're getting what you're asking for. But what it's showing, quite honestly, and I'm going to get tons of hate mail for this, it's showing the indiscriminate choice of the modern gaming society. You guys don't want anything different. You know, you guys really don't want to see anything different. You want the same crap over and over and over again.
You want Quake 3 Waves to September. You want
Command and Conquer.
You want That's why arcades are dead. Okay? You guys helped kill the arcades because they did. I'm telling you, they went online, they go in these chat channels, they hide in post boards and message boards, and you think they don't hear you, they hear you. Come on. If they didn't hear you, you wouldn't see the games you see. You'd see game companies going off in a completely different direction. Remember when everybody back in the early 90s was complaining that Japan thinks we're stupid because they won't send us any RPGs. How funny is it when the PlayStation came out, it was RPG heaven. They listen to you. They hear you. You think they don't hear you. They hear you. So you sit there and you say, I want to play Daytona Part 15. You will get 15 Daytonas. You're gonna, if enough people sit there and go, you know what? Hello, come out, Capcom, can you please come out with something original? You guys, how come all the game companies that are not original now were original in the 80s? Somebody email me and explain it to me. Explain to me why when in the heyday of video games, back in the heyday of video games, you believe that Capcom, 1942, Sun.
Hell yes. Sunset Riders. That's Konami.
That's Konami.
That was Konami. Konami had good stuff back then,
Konami
too.
all of a sudden thinks everybody wants to play 6,000 versions of Beatmania games. I know I'm going to get crap for that. And I love the games, but you won't see me and Shane dancing on those stupid
Hell no,
machines.
you've seen me. There's nothing more pathetic than watching a big fat guy trying to play DDR. Which, by the way, is Simon. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. You guys cannot come to me and say DDR is nothing more than Simon. It is Simon with music. That's it. And I don't see how you guys can argue with that concept.
He even has the little 4 arrows.
It even has the 4 arrows. My
like
God.
Simon.
Yeah, I loved it when I played it first time when it was Simon.
But I like DDR. Don't lump me in with Shane with that because Shane don't like it. But I will not play it in the arcade. I will not ride it on the bus. I will not. I will not play DDR now.
I do not like it, Sam. I am. Dr. Seuss and modern video games. You decide.
But they're listening. They got these websites thrown up, and they're telling you email us, and they come into chat channels, and they're listening.
That's why there are 10 Final Fantasies. I'm sorry.
And no other game in the history of gaming has that many sequels.
I've never seen a game, even with knockoff sequel, sort of halfway related, like Professor Pac-Man to Pac-Man. Even Pac-Man ain't got 10 sequels.
Pac-Man don't have 10 sequels.
What's up with that?
So that should tell you something.
And that's the most horde game on the planet.
And it seemed like back in the day, if you did, like Shane said, if you did make knockoffs and clones and bad ones at that, okay, everybody wants to sit there and pull Atari out of the ass when I say stuff like this. Yeah, Atari might have 80% bad games, but guess what? They weren't 80 sequels. They were 80 original bad games. I mean, come on. I mean, you gotta somewhere along the line just go, okay, you're right. What can we do to change this? And that's what basically half of this, what the show is trying to do, is trying to make people aware. Let's stop this endless cycle of the same thing. I'm telling you, you're going to cause another video game crash, regurgitating the same crap. Now here's the problem. You have a PlayStation 2, you have an Xbox, you have a GameCube. You guys can sit up there and be little fanboys and go, oh, my system's the best. But you know what the problem is now? They're releasing the same games for the same system looking exactly alike. So what are you going to do then? When Konami puts out a game that looks exactly like the PlayStation 2, the Nintendo, and the GameCube. Sega's going to sit there and show you guys that. Because Sega don't care. Sega just wants to make money.
Sega's going to make money now because you guys have buried the Dreamcast by not liking anything original. So Sega's going to try to make some cash out of you guys now.
You guys said they're thinking that Crazy Taxi is the next incarnation of God. And
we done had that a long time ago.
It's been out for about 3 years.
I think it's been out longer than that.
No, it's about 3 years.
You sure? I thought it came out in the arcade like freaking 5 years ago.
No.
You sure? It's been out there a long time.
Okay, how long has the Dreamcast been around?
The Dreamcast been out since like 97.
No.
98. Dude, if you boot the Dreamcast right now and you look at like the ADX compression
It's
copyright.
98. Well, that's the ADX compression copyright. That's
Well,
not
yeah,
the
but that's when they would have had to have licensed it.
98.
I'm telling you, I think it came out in 98.
That's
97.
scary. That's 4 years.
Dude, the console's old.
Yeah.
The console's old. You talk for a minute. I'm going to go look at the bottom of the Dreamcast.
Shane is going to look at the bottom of the Dreamcast to prove me wrong. But basically what I'm trying to tell you guys is that we got to end the cycle, or we're going to have a big video game crash, and you're going to be right back on the PC playing Quake. And I know how much you fanboys love playing games on the PC. Not. So, Shane?
That concludes this month's editorial commentary by myself and Bryan Smith. We have gotten so much reader mail saying that you would like us to look at Chrono Trigger for the Super Nintendo to see what we're missing out on. Well, this console RPG button masher from Squaresoft certainly didn't score a lot of points with us. However, we're going to look at the title as part of our two-part 16-bit flashback. This month we'll have part 1, next month we'll have part 2. It all works out in the end, doesn't it? So this month we're going to take a look here with my associate and producer, Bryan Smith. We're going to tackle this controversial title that seems to have such a following amongst you Super Nintendo fans, yet we can't figure out what the big deal is. Let's get on with the review.
It's time for a 16-bit flashback.
Well, today, by popular demand, we have decided that we are going to give you a live review of Chrono Trigger on the Super Nintendo. Since every one of you guys that burns a cross in your front yard for SNES, and you love SNES so much, you guys write me in this cult-like fashion, we are going to look at this game live, the two of us. Now, I want you to understand, Bryan has a Super Nintendo background, so you don't think it's just stacked because I don't like Nintendo, because Bryan likes Nintendo.
I have a Super Nintendo, I have a regular Nintendo, I have a regular Nintendo with 99 cartridges. I have a Super Nintendo with about 35, 40 cartridges. I cannot even find Chrono Trigger anywhere, let alone play this game. I don't understand the fascination with Chrono Trigger. I mean, I would understand if you guys wrote in and said, Super Punch-Out, Mario Kart. Nobody mentioned those two carts, and those are my two favorite games. You guys didn't even go as low as, say, Street Fighter 2, with all the incarnations or the lousy sports games that come with the Super Nintendo. You guys said Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger.
Mega Man.
And Mega Man.
And Castlevania, which you need to explain to me why Castlevania rules, because I don't get that either.
I understand the draw to Castlevania. I love Castlevania too. It's not, it can fall under a classic but like Shane said, there were games before that were similar to it. I guess if maybe you could just say it's the most popular of the genre. I guess. I don't know, but we're sitting here in Shane's living room. I'm looking at a track mode to Chrono Trigger, and I don't get it. Maybe me and Shane are just old. We don't get it. We're gonna sit here. We're gonna actually play this until we get irritated, which I'm guessing 15, 20 minutes.
That's tops.
You guys might get 45 minutes to an hour out of us, but I'm
know.
pretty sure.
We do like to bitch.
Yes. So,
all right, just so you guys don't think that we're like jerking your chain here, we're going to describe some of the attract mode to you. They just walked into this castle, and they're doing a little three-way fight with, what is it, a hench, a vamp, and a sorcerer, and this big giant frog.
This rainbow frog keeps
Man.
And he stumps on everybody.
That's like total Forbidden Forest right there. Frog stomping on everybody.
And then it shows
some credits of people we can't pronounce.
Now this is like something out of Super Mario Brothers.
All right, here we go. This is your standard external walk the map view going into something else here. And then we got some Mario Kart action looking thing going on here.
No, this more looks like F-Zero.
F-Zero, okay, well, they got to show off that FX chip.
It's a Mode 7 crap.
Mode 7, yeah. Okay, well, that's kind of cool.
Mode 7.
I don't know what that was, but it was something. Okay, we're running across a bridge, this big skeleton
looking thing.
Zombar thing. Got a little spell casting going on. And we got some I don't know what that was, but it was an attack.
This is the battle mode.
Battle mode. And by the way, there's no such thing as a battle mode that's not in real time, folks. So we'll be playing this in real time battle mode because
even though it does give you the option to do turn-based. Or...
We don't play turn-based role-playing games. That's why Heroes of Might and Magic never is getting installed on either one of our computers. Okay, I don't know what that was. Okay, now we're back to the swinging pendulum thing. So Brian's going to do a majority of the commentating.
Yeah, I ain't playing this crap
because I'm going to have Damn. Wow. That's tough. That's tough. Okay, well, let's move along here. Okay, well, we're going to go into active battle mode here. I'm going to enter my name. Should take me 20 minutes.
Because...
Okay. See, now, if you guys hadn't weaned me off of using video, you guys could have been watching me play this and laughing. But...
You didn't.
Too bad. You didn't. So now you can only hear about it in MP3. Okay, so we've got our little intro overview, some flying seagulls here.
Looking like Twinbee.
Yep, Twinbee. Little boat on the dock. Bunch of balloons flying up here.
Some kind of party.
Yeah, some kind of party. What did I do? Did I turn the sound off?
I think you did.
No, we can't play this thing without sound.
Yeah, we gotta have sound.
Didn't this thing have sound before?
It did have sound.
Ah,
there
we
it goes.
Go. All right. Okay, you guys probably won't be able to hear it. All right, we've already began button mashing. Shane, come back, Shane.
Good morning, Shane.
Good morning, Shane. God, I hate button mashing text. I'd rather scroll. I love the music. Listen to the soulful sounds. Oh. Come on, sleepyhead, get up.
Then
that's Mom.
You get Pikachu.
Hey, that's Pikachu.
Pikachu.
Oh, there's another Mom. Pikachu. Okay, you were so millennium fair that you didn't sleep last night. Behave yourself. I'm not even reading all this text, folks.
Yeah, we're not. Because you Chrono Trigger whores already know the script by heart. Why do we have to read it? Now, Pikachu's going down the stairs.
Pikachu went down the stairs, and I'm going to walk around the room, see if I can do anything here. I closed the window.
He closed the window. He opened the window.
Man, this is Shenmue. Damn, can I mess with the typewriter? I must avenge my father, but first, I will play with this radio. And this cat. Okay.
I think you should go down the stairs.
All right, I'm going to go down the stairs.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, the inventor friend. I've forgotten her name. Oh, I get to choose her name?
Yeah,
default.
Thank you. Default.
That's right. That's cool. You can actually rename all the NPCs. That should be confusing. I wonder how the author reviews of this went in the magazine. Yeah, I chose to change all the names.
I don't even remember ever reading a review.
I don't remember reading a review either. Okay, there's got to be something in here I can mess with.
I assumed this was a Japanese game because I've never seen it.
Okay, can I eat this food? I got Pikachu following me. Get off! Okay, there we go.
The cat attacked him.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, how come we didn't go into battle mode?
We're in real-time battle mode. Okay, let's go outside.
Okay.
Okay, now we're in external...
can you guys write in and tell us what town this is? Because there we go. Lean Square.
1000 AD. Okay, there's...
Okay, we have...
Are these guys going to kick my butt? Nope.
No.
They're just here for the festivities. Come on, I need to hit my button some more. Where's the message box? There we go. Have fun.
To the fair.
There's some chicks sitting at the fountain.
Go to that dude up there in the upper right corner.
Hang on a second. I got to read all these message boxes.
Okay.
Don't you know the story is so good on here that you just can't play the game. You have to read it?
Oh, my bad.
There you go.
You just gobbled somebody up.
No, where's Pikachu at?
Pikachu did not go to the fair.
What's in this little tent over here? Oh, here's
buy sell stuff. Yeah, 400 G's.
400 G's. Shelter. Let's see. Revives an ally.
Tonic.
Okay. Well, me don't think we're going to be buying any of this.
So far, people, this is boring.
I'm still waiting for the great storyline. What's in here? Oh, damn, another place you can buy and sell?
Karate what?
Karate G and Bronze Helm. Well, let me guess. I should probably... Oh, this looks like armor. Let's grab some of that.
You only have 400 G.
Now I got 100 Gs.
You just put the rest on the gift
I
certificate.
just put the rest on gift certificate. Okay. Let's see if there's any place else I can shop.
For you youngins, that was a Wheel of Fortune old school reference back when they used to have the look at this studio filled with wonderful prizes, a new car. And you used to be able to, they put price tags on everything, you used to get to pick. What is this?
Hey, this is Tents of Horrors. I want to go into the horrors.
We like horrors.
Okay,
horrors.
so we got, stop that.
Oops.
Okay, so we got Cheshire Cat guy here. Welcome to Spine Tingling Show. I'm already scared. Okay. How many silver points would I like to pay?
None.
None, but I guess I'll choose 10. I don't have enough points. Get out.
Oh, wait. He asked you how much you wanted to spend and then tell you didn't spend enough.
I didn't have it. They did say I didn't have none. All right. I want to walk in here.
That 100? No, I think you got.
Give
him the max. No, you do. You have like 100.
No, I had 100 G's, not 100 S's.
Oh, my bad. So
let's try this again. How much? Welcome.
Try it.
I'm gonna try something bigger here.
Try it like.
All right, let's see. How many silver points? I don't have any points.
Try 80.
80. Oh, I got to bring my friends. Great. Oh, yeah, I see how this is going to work out.
Okay.
More mass massacre. That's why they call it massacre. Steel Runner might try something. Is this English?
The Steel Runner might try something.
That was useful. Glad I didn't pay for it. Okay, we're going to walk around some more here. There's Pikachu. Hey, where you going?
Everybody's running away from
I know.
Mr. Trigger.
We won a war against a wizard. This is Lord of the Rings.
Go up the steps.
Well, I was just looking around. Okay.
Like what you do with every RPG.
That's right. Oh, here's some
you
chick
look
who came
around.
out.
Oh!
She just beat my ass. Oh,
Stop the violence.
Stop. Why can't we
Ouch,
all just
that
get
hurt.
along?
Yeah.
That hurt. Okay. Oh, the bells are tolling. We're going to get married. Hey, what is she doing?
She's kissing
She's on her knees.
There you go.
Oh, man. Maybe this is all right after all.
Now we understand the draw.
Okay. You guys didn't write in and tell me there was that action. Oh, I thought it said pregnant. Dude, it's amazing. It's amazing you see what you want to see. My pendant. That's wrong.
You killed my baby.
You killed my baby. My mama's baby.
Yeah, get that
Let me get the
my
pennant.
baby's mama.
Stop. I got the pennant.
Okay.
I hate fairs. Yeah, I know the latest gossip. I said yes. They got rid of me. Why don't you come back in a while?
You can't go up those stairs.
Okay. No, I have 0 silver.
Okay.
Hey,
Yes,
there's where we get some
there you
silver.
go.
Okay, yeah, we'll exchange.
Not enough.
Well, wait a minute. Didn't it just say I could give?
Yeah. 1 to exchange 10
silver points for money. Okay, well, I got money. I ain't got no silver, so. There's Pikachu again.
Apparently, gold is no good here.
Your money is no good here. You cannot pay, you cannot stay. Anyone know that one? Hey, I just got Pikachu to whine with me. Keep going if you want to demo Laura's battle trainer.
No,
Lucas, whatever.
Yeah.
I was going to rename her to Laura.
Okay, there's a big fat dude now on the screen. With a mask. He looks like a dominatrix. Oh, he's singing.
They call me Guato.
I have metal joints. Beat me up.
And on 15 silver point.
Okay, first battle fight.
How do I kick his butt?
Okay.
Okay.
Here you go.
Here we go. I'm going to do him. Attack. Nope, not that. Oh, yeah, I'm whooping on him. Oh, dude, this little punching thing just came out. This ain't real time.
He's getting ready to kick your butt, dude.
This isn't real time. I don't get it. How can they call this real time? This ain't even close.
You got 14 hit points, I guess.
Where's Diablo at? Oh, damn, he's bad singing's going to hurt me. It took 1 point away. Okay, we're attacking again. I'm beating him up. And I'm getting beat up. I'm down to 9 hit points. It's almost over, folks. I don't know if you're going to get any more than this.
That concludes part 1 of our 16-bit flashback on Chrono Trigger from Squaresoft. Next month, on the June 2002 edition, we'll be covering the second and concluding part of our look at this Super Nintendo game, Chrono Trigger. Several people have written in about the new G4 video game channel that's debuting on a lot of cable channel systems right now. And our opinions on this are, we have been in contact with the G4 people. Now understand that this channel is basically all video games. Basically that's all they do, which is nice. If we can have two women channels and lots of obscure things like the Love Story channel, by God, we can have a video game channel. In light of this, many of you have written us and said, hey, are you guys going to try to get a retro gaming show on this G4 channel? Well, we've brought it up, and they're going to pass around the idea a little bit, and when we know more, you'll know more. Hopefully, we'll have some ideas before the next show. Between Bryan and myself, we are amiable to doing a show. So, if the opportunity arises to do a show about retro gaming in the retro gaming style that you've grown accustomed to, and we feel that we can maintain our own integrity while doing a show of this kind, we are for it. However, we do not want to sell out, and we don't want to change what we do. If it comes down to that, what we will do is have a sister show. The TV show would be something totally different than what the radio show is. So that's kind of where we sit. Like I said, we are interested in doing the show. If you haven't checked it out, we will give you a link to the G4 website. It's pretty cool. It's all Flash. It's not extraordinarily opera-friendly, to be totally honest with you, but most of you won't care. So I would visit it in IE if you want to take a look. It looks like it's got a lot of potential. I think this could be a place that a lot of us could call home. And we don't have it yet on US West or Quest or whatever they're called now. We don't have the service yet, so I can't tell you about the quality of their programming. That, of course, will have some sort of bearing on whether we decide to do the show or not. But it's in the very early stages. There's not even an offer yet, so we're just sort of taking it as it comes. So we will let you know more. Keep an eye on the Retro Gaming Radio site. If there's some exciting news before the next show, we'll certainly post it. So that's about it for the G4 thing. Now for some very exciting late-breaking news. In fact, we were basically holding the show on this piece of information. The good folks at the X Arcade, you know, that very cool programmable arcade controller that we've been talking so highly about on the show, we had a little chat with the guys over there at X Arcade, and it seems that they're going to allow us to be their official representation at the Classic Gaming Expo. That's right, folks. You'll be able to stop by the Retro Gaming Radio booth and try out and possibly even purchase this amazing, cool, programmable arcade controller. The best of the hot rod and the stick-it combined equals the X Arcade controller. We're going to have one there to demo. You guys can play Robotron and some of your other favorites there. It's going to be a lot of fun. The X Arcade people themselves may even show up if they get a chance to. They're on a real tight schedule, plotting for E3 and some other tech events they need to go to. So, in conjunction with Retro Gaming Radio, they're going to have a much better presence this year than they had last year at CGE. So, even if you may not care to stop by and listen to some old archives of Retro Gaming Radio, we'll have listening booths there. Do stop by and try out this cool arcade controller, and I'm hoping that we're going to have some for sale there. There's going to be a big price drop in the arcade controller, the X Arcade controller, and I can't really reveal the details just yet, but let's just say the price is going to be very nice. A lot of you people out there that have been holding off buying one, even though it's a steal at $199, you're going to be in for a great treat. X Arcade and Retro Gaming Radio merged together for CGE. Very exciting.
Well, folks, we have Bryan King in the studio now to offer us a segment up on his new creation. It's a boon to everybody who collects classic games or classic game consoles or just about anything of a collectible classic nature. And even if you're not just a classic game collector, there's some stuff in his product that will be useful to you. Bryan King, just to give you a little background, Bryan King has been running the ArcadeRestoration.com site for quite a while, offering up tips and tricks on how to repair and revitalize your old hardware, your old arcade cabinet hardware. Bryan, welcome to the show. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your history with classic video gaming and how you got started with ArcadeRestoration.com?
Right. The Arcade Restoration Workshop started probably, I'd say, 2 or 3 years ago? 3 years ago. It was originally started out as a way for me to just keep track of everything that I was doing, so that when I went back and tried to put everything back together, I'd have something to go back to and reference. And it kind of grew from there. Video games and arcade games have been kind of a passion of mine since high school, actually, because I was working in Chuck E. Cheese up in Alaska in the game room, working and fixing games and just basic game room stuff.
And what sort of goodies can people expect to find at ArcadeRestoration.com?
There's everything from other people's experiences that I've posted that, they've been generous enough to give me that information. I have quite a few photo tutorials on how to do things such as cap kits, repair control panels, that type of thing. And it's basically just a log of all of my restorations and how they're going and the problems I run into, and hopefully it'll help people not make the mistakes that I've made.
Now you're quite a collector. I've been over to your house several times, and you've just loaded up with goodies, everything from arcade cabinets to classic consoles to classic computers to just about everything. Give us kind of an overview of your own personal collection of games, consoles, and computers.
It's not an addiction. It's a hobby. I can stop anytime I want.
Yeah, I believe that. It's like the rest of us.
Now, what is it that you want?
Tell us, give us a list of what you have in your working arcade right now, what you're planning on restoring, all the different consoles and computers that you have.
Okay, let's start with the easy stuff. We'll go with the consoles that I have. The Intellivision, ColecoVision, Odyssey 2, Atari 2600, 2600 Junior, 7800, a broken 5200, a Jaguar.
Like there's any other kind of 5200.
Let's see. Jaguar, Lynx, Game Boy Advance, GameCube, Dreamcast. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah.
And for computers?
Classic computers, Commodore 64 and the Commodore VIC-20. And an Atari.
I was going to say, didn't you have an Atari?
Yeah, an Atari 800.
Yeah, notice where that falls on the list. How about giving us an overview of sort of some of the arcade cabs, because a lot of people don't realize it's like walking into an arcade when you go over to Bryan's house.
Okay. Working in the game room currently is Ms. Pac-Man, Gyrus. Then we've got Donkey Kong, which is actually Donkey Kong / Donkey Kong Jr., depending on which board I have in there. Then we have a fairly unusual title, which is Metrocross. Not too many people have heard of that game.
It's a hard game.
Then I have a JAMA cabinet that has Namco Classics 1 and Namco Classics 2 swappable in that. That's a 25-inch cabinet on that.
Almost too big, if you can believe it.
No, never too big.
You have to move your head around a lot to watch what's going on.
Then on my what I call the Williams row, I have Defender, Stargate, Robotron, Sinistar, Make Tracks, and that's pretty much it for the game room.
And you've got a whole bunch of projects that are currently on the backlog to reconstruct and to restore, right?
Right. I have enough projects to keep me busy for the next 20 years.
Outstanding.
Let's see. Out in the dining room, I have a Joust that I'm restoring. I have a Donkey Kong cabinet that I'm restoring, a Stargate cabinet, and then we go into the garage, and I've got 2 Robotrons, another Joust cabinet, Pengo, Qbert. Make that 3 Robotron cabinets.
Can't tell where the passions lie on this man. Oh, by the way, in case you were wondering, no, he's not married. That's why when you heard living room and video games in there, then you can kind of get a good idea.
Most eligible gamer, huh?
Most eligible gamer. He's going to be on GVC cover next month, I guess. No, just kidding. So now, Bryan, you're here basically to help plug your new product, Cart Commander. Tell us why you came up with Cart Commander.
Cart Commander came about because I started getting lots and lots of cartridges, and I wound up actually getting lots and lots of duplicates of cartridges because I couldn't keep track of what I had. And after you get so many of one title, you get tired of paying $2-3 for something that you already have 4 copies of.
Now, how many cartridges would you say you have?
I am approaching about 900.
Well, there you have it. So now, for those of us out here who may not know what Cartridge Commander does, or Cart Commander does, or what it will do, give us kind of an overview of what the product does for you.
Cart Commander's primary purpose is for inventorying all of your cartridges. With the version 2.0, it now allows you to track your hardware as well, and with the next version that should be ready by CGE, it'll also allow you to track manuals and overlays.
Now, why would somebody want to use your product instead of, say, whipping open a Access database or even a Word document just to track their own stuff? What sort of advantages does your product have over some traditional methodology?
Well, it allows you to organize them a lot easier. You can have, if you open up multiple cartridge files at one time, you can compare the two to see what's different between the two lists. You can do reports and stuff that are based on manufacturer, rarity, that type of thing. You can export to other CVS files. One of the new features that was added with a couple versions ago was the ability to link directly to Atari Age off of the right-click menu or off of the pull-down menu. That allows you to that'll take you directly to that game page for that cartridge.
Now, Cart Commander actually comes with master lists of cartridges and systems. Right now, that features for the most part a pretty full catalog of every game in existence for most of the older consoles. Right?
Actually, those lists are lacking in some areas. The Ron's done a great job on a lot of them, but there's 101 platforms that I have listed in Cart Commander currently. So, and we have maybe 10, 20 at the most. And
so this gives them the ability to actually look up and add a cartridge from a list, not just have to type something in.
Right. If they can use the master list to save themselves a lot of typing. If there's no master list, then they can add cartridges by hand.
And a lot of the reports, you have a pretty good set of reports, right? You can export to HTML. There's all sorts of different exporting options, right?
Right now, there's basic exporting. It's in a standard CSV file format. The next version is going to have an advanced exporting, but that's going to be for registered users only.
And while we're getting on to that, kind of taking some of my questions out of sequence here, how much is Cart Commander going to cost the average guy?
One cartridge. As long as I don't already have it. I don't want a combat. I already have plenty of combats.
No ETs, probably not, I would probably imagine.
No, if you send me an ET, I will not send you anything.
So your basic registration system is what you call cartware. And kind of give just a little overview about how they go about getting you the cartridge and how they can find out whether you've got one or not. Kind of give them an overview on how they can register with a cartridge.
Okay, I have a fairly up-to-date list of what I have on my website. It's on the software page along with the software.
Generated by Cart Commander. Plug.
Yes, and the website's all generated by CGI too. So
there you go. So anyway, back to how did they get the cartridge to you?
Well, my name and address is in the license text file and in the README, I believe.
Now, if they have a question, chances are likely that they should probably contact you before they ship you off a cart just to make sure that you don't have it.
That'd be a good idea, unless it's like a rarity 6 or higher. Then I don't mind dupes of those.
Sword Quest, Waterworld, or something.
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll take 3 or 4 copies of that.
Absolutely. Little eBay fodder.
Well, I don't plan on doing eBay.
As expansive as Cart Commander is, is there anything it doesn't do that you've lacked putting in, or maybe you don't want to put in just yet, or that are on the request list that isn't in existence yet inside the product?
That list is a mile long.
Okay, how about we talk major features?
And that list is a mile long as well.
Well,
there's lots and lots of room for improvement on Card Commander, and anything that anybody sends me as far as a request goes on a list that I keep with the source code. And as I'm working on the source code, I go through that list and I make a determination of whether or not I'm going to be able to implement that for the next version. An example, one of the things I want to add is filtering, so that you'll be able to filter based on either manufacturer, quantity, or whatever, just any field, any value that you'll be able to filter on it. Another feature I'd like to do is be able to do threading, where you can where you'll be able to group your cartridges based on like manufacturer, or based on cartridge types such as text labels versus picture labels and that type of thing.
Cool, very cool. Now, is Card Commander going to stay cartware, or should people expect to be putting some dollars out for it in the future?
It's going to remain cartware for as long as I can tell.
Now, is Card Commander one of those nice, fatty, bloated VB6 applications, or can we expect something a little more sleek from the great mind of Brian King?
Oh, I wouldn't touch VB6 with a 10-foot pole.
Owned.
Okay, it's in Delphi 5 right now. It'll be upgraded probably to Delphi 6, and depending on how complicated it's going to be, it may even get ported to Linux.
Yeah, that's exciting. Little Linux portage action. So right now, Card Commander is available solely for Win32 platforms.
Correct.
Well, very good. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about? I know that you're going to be doing some stuff at CGE this year. Do you want to kind of plug that so folks know what to sign up for when they get there?
Well, I've been officially named as a Twin Galaxies referee, at large. Not a large referee, just at large.
Yeah, make sure we got the terminology right.
That's right. And rumor has it there may be some sort of event that I'm going to be doing, and those details will be forthcoming.
All righty then. Well, Brian, is there anything else you'd like to talk about, to plug about Card Commander, future projects, future versions of Card Commander? Now is the time.
Well, the one thing I hate is bugs, so if you find any bugs whatsoever, no matter how minor it is, email them to me and I will put them on my to-do list to fix. Ron can attest to that.
And are you accepting or needing anybody to help you with development of Card Commander? I'm assuming this is probably not an open source project.
It is not open source, but the...
Sorry, Linux users. No SourceForge for you.
I'm glad you brought that up because I will accept as registration master lists.
Very cool.
However, there are stipulations on those master lists, and those stipulations are on my website. If you have any questions about those, I will email me, and I will send you my requirements for those master lists.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's Brian King, author of Card Commander, your one program that you need to catalog and archive and list out your console, classic console, and hardware, software necessities. Thank you, Brian, for coming into the studio. And we appreciate having you on the show. And, folks, if you have not got Card Commander yet, you can get that from arcaderestoration.com. It's available now at version 2.0, right?
2.0.1.7.
2.0. Very good then. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
I'd like to just mention a few more things before we wrap the show up this month. Lots of little things that just seem to kind of creep up that never get talked about. First off, the X-Arcade arcade controller has some updated IC chip that you can go ahead and get from X-Arcade that will improve your responsiveness with many video games. If you are a registered owner, you should probably already know about that, but just in case you did not, you may definitely want to check out the X-Arcade site to figure out what you may be missing. They've also released several of the control adapters, namely the Dreamcast adapter, which hopefully they're going to send us over a review version so we can go ahead and let you know how well that works on the Dreamcast. There's so many games I can only dream about playing with the X-Arcade controller on the Dreamcast. All of you who've been writing me about light guns, I'm hoping that your prayers are answered. Act Labs is releasing a USB light gun very soon, and they've promised to send us a version for review as soon as we get one off the assembly line. This is supposed to be 100% MAME compatible. We'll see. What I'm really more excited about is maybe the fact that it might run under the NT kernel, because there's no way I'm going to run 98 just to use light gun. The Stick-It controller, folks, stop writing me about it. They're gone. They're gone. They're gone. Their email bounces. Their website's never updated. That should be a good hint. They're gone. I know. I did the site for them. It makes me an easy target for you to write me and say, hey, where can I get a Stick-It? Well, you can't. They're gone. I mentioned that they're gone. No more Stick-Its. The website's still up because they haven't bothered to take it down. Danny has not contacted me in many, many months about it. The last thing I heard is that their funding fell through. There will not be the Stick-It 2. So, if you want an arcade controller, I recommend the X Arcade controller. That is the arcade controller of choice for the Retro Gaming Radio staff. There's a new Daphne, the Laserdisc emulation project, coming out very soon. Thanks to a little insight I've got into the Daphne team. I heard a little bit about it. Basically, it's going to require a lot less horsepower to run this new version with satisfactory results apparently happening on a P2400. That will be a welcome addition to the emulation collection. There's a lot of new games coming out for classic systems. It seems to be a big thing these days. I guess there's a Space Invaders collection coming for ColecoVision. There's a brand new game, RPG for the Lynx called Damon's Gate. If you guys want me to review these new games, folks, just drop me a copy over in the mail. I'd be very happy to look at and review them for the show. I have a lot of Lynx fans out there, a lot of ColecoVision fans. They just sure love to know more about the game, especially since the only screenshot you gave us is one of the intro screen. Why don't you give us some gameplay shots? I don't understand that, but I'm sure that'll get me copies sent for sure now. Interesting, I got an email from one of the guys over at Sony Entertainment Europe. I'm not going to mention the guy's name, might get him in trouble, but suffice to say that they listen to the show, and which I thought was kind of impressive, and he said, well, he doesn't always agree with what we say, which is smart of him since he is a modern game developer. But he says that they do try to consider many of the thoughts that we discuss on the show, which is just way cool. So it's nice to know there's some company out there that's listening to the grail of the show. New WinUAE is out. There's actually been a couple of releases since our last show. Lots of fixes. They finally fixed that stupid joystick bug that was driving me crazy. I guess everybody on the WinUAE team plays with the keyboard, I guess, because it's been broken a long time. Those of you who have been writing asking, does the PlayStation adapters with PlayStation joysticks work with WinUAE? They do now. Compliments of the joystick fixes. So definitely want to get in on the new WinUAEs. They've added some CD32 support, but it's not quite as good as the Akiko emulator, which has just come out with a new version that has lots of new support and fixes. He works really hard to keep that emulator up to date for you, CD32 freaks like myself. Eventually, hopefully, we'll get a Roadkill that runs at a decent speed. As Brian knows, my producer, we played a lot of Roadkill while he was down here. One more thing I just want to kind of plug here to kind of help us out, folks. There's a lot of old 80s movies are coming back in DVD format. I know this is kind of a real stretch segue in here, but I know a lot of you people have been waiting for your favorite 80s movies to come out on DVD. And we track a lot of those, folks, by the way, at our sister site, futuredvds.com. We keep an eye on all the rumored and expected releases of DVD. If you haven't been over there, you might want to take a look. It lets you track your own list, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, a lot of companies, especially Disney/Touchstone, are releasing or planning to release a great 80s classics like the Muppet movies in pan and scan. They think that kids don't understand widescreen and kids don't want widescreen, so we're not even going to bother to make a version with widescreen. So I'm going to give you a little an email down at the bottom where you can email Disney and say, hey, I don't care if it's a family movie or not. We demand original aspect ratio because we don't want to see the movie butchered up in the pan and scan process. So something to consider, folks. Help out the quest. Keep pan and scan off of DVD because if they want pan and scan, they can always watch VHSs. A couple of quick last-minute thank yous. AtariInvader.com gave us a pretty nice plug on their site. We appreciate that. Thanks to everybody for sending me Smurf Massacre. I got quite a few copies of that. It was nice to be able to nuke Smurfs again. Appreciate that a lot. I believe C64.com has that image online, folks, if you want to pick that up. And also a last thank you to ClassicGaming.com. They have mentioned our show religiously. We've got a lot of traffic and a lot of new listeners because of them, and we appreciate that a lot. Well, folks, I'm going to sign off here. We've ran this show forever already. Until next time, this is Shane R. Monroe for Retro Gaming Radio saying, keep it retro.